Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of what if Naruto was created from Mokuton cells and all Kage's DNA. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, remember if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, I have 4 more channels. All the links will be down in the description for Anime King 2 Anime Symbol, and Anime Prince. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or waste any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last part that we left off, both Naruto and Itachi clones poofed away, revealing that they know the Shadow Clone Jutsu, very advanced for their age. The instructor recommended that they graduated. Hiruzen had a meeting as the elders were all there, as they say that it would be a waste of time for both boys to remain in the academy because they show excel advancement in their areas. So yes, they were allowed to graduate. The team that they were placed on was known as Team 2. The third member on their team, her name was Shinko Inari. Every mission that Team 2 did, it was a 100% successful rate. So they were given the opportunity to lead the daimyo back to the village on his routine mission, back to speaking with the Hokage. It was an honor for any genuine team, and they got it this year, after a year of doing field duty. However, things went so bad so fast. Out of nowhere, a man arrived. Their sensei was taken out of commission. The man killed Shinko, just to cause them further pain. Itachi Uchiha, eyes activated for the first time. Yes, his Sharingan. A two-totem Sharingan appear in his eyes. Naruto, seeing Shinko's death, he lost it. The masked man saw the Mokuton. He knew the future threat that Naruto would be. Naruto might be powerful for his age, but he stood no chance. The masked man cut him down before driving the blade right through his chest, piercing his heart. He then left, unbothered. Itachi rushed towards Naruto, his friend, his best friend. Watching Naruto die changed something inside of Itachi, mostly his eyes. From the first time awakening the Sharingan now to awakening the Mokuton. There was an outpost nearby. As they were brought back, Hiruzen was angered and upset as the dead body of Naruto lay on the table. He was gone. His poor younger sister. Hiruzen was pissed off. The doctor was there. However, before the autopsy began, pure chaos erupted inside of where they were. Vines. Hundreds of vines erupted out of the ground. It swallowed and restrained the entire room, confusing and trapping everything. Every member of the analytic department and several specialists came down under Hiruzen direct orders to examine what was going on. And they did just so, but none of them could give him a definite answer on what is taking place. That is when Hiruzen saw a giant cocoon. As he realized that the plants were sucking nature energy and fueling it inside of said cocoon. Slowly but surely, something was festering and growing inside, and he had one idea what it could be. As he waited and waited, suddenly all the plants started to die, their excess energy going towards the cocoon. It split open as someone fell out of it. The white that was attached to the blonde spikes of his hair had grown out even longer. His physique even got a bit more buff. He was alive. Hiruzen made a quick decision as he told the populace that Naruto fell in battle. Therefore, Orochimaru was off his back. This masked man that tried to kill him was off his back as well. A whole lot of people out there that resented Minato was off his back now. And the daughter of Minato went missing. She just vanished. Hiruzen did not give out anything on her or anything at all. She just vanished. And they had no idea what was going on there. But there was nothing that was being announced about her. Things had been bad for Itachi. Yes, very, very bad. He lost his best friend, his teammate. Things were just horrendously bad for him right now. Until he was called one day. And Naruto was the one that he greeted. Itachi was beyond shock. He could not believe it. His best friend was alive. He was alive. He couldn't believe it as Naruto stood there. Naruto informed him on what exactly happened. Itachi was rather shocked as Naruto figured that whatever happened to him was a one-time thing. He remembered hearing confusing words while he was transitioning between death and life. And he could tell whatever happened was a one-time thing. He was able to tap into a source, and source that he did not recognize all too well. Hiruzen decided to keep him underground until he was strong enough to protect himself and his sister. Naruto also asked for that as well. Itachi did not stay a genin for too long, as he got promoted to Chunin and then Anbu. To his surprise, Naruto was there though, as this was something that he could work without anyone knowing of him. The both of them were placed under Kakashi leadership. They went like that for a few years. That was until Naruto caught the eye of the commander. The commander removed Naruto from Kakashi leadership and placed him under his own. He seemed to have seen something in Naruto that would be vital for his future, so he took him, as he was now his commanding officer, through and through. The man was at least 1,000 times worse than Kakashi, as Naruto barely got any time off. However, things were brewing outside. Naruto had been outside a lot, but his face had been hidden from the populace. But he still had his friends out there, Shisui, Itachi, Izumi as well. A girl that liked Itachi, but Itachi just would not take focus to that, as Naruto was always telling him about that. Naruto also felt the tension as he spoke to Itachi about the solution. Itachi told him that everything would be fine. He will make sure of it. As Naruto trusted him, he was his best friend after all. He trusted him to keep to his words. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to the playcheck of yourself, and also don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now guys. We begin this episode with Itachi Uchiha. He was currently standing in front of a stone platform. He was within the hidden leaf. This was a old location of the Uchihas, until the ones that resided here moved deeper into the sanctuary of the village. Itachi was standing there trying to clear his mind. So much has happened in a short amount of time. He had informed Naruto that everything was fine and that he will handle everything. Yet, things were slipping out of his control. Shisui, he was dead. Many suspected that he was the one that ended Shisui's life. However, that was far from the truth. Danzo recently came to him with an ultimatum, knowing that Itachi was different from the rest, knowing how far the hatred of the Uchiha clan has dragged on. Hiruzen was still trying to find a way to resolve this peacefully, but his action of peace was going nowhere, and Itachi was left with a tough decision. A really tough one. Itachi felt it, but it was too late for him to make a move. He was lost in his thoughts. He was grabbed and spun around. His back slammed against a stone wall with a great amount of force. He kept in the winds of pain though, as he gazed into those eyes. Those red eyes that gazed back at his. His Sharingan had flared up in the moment. However, the person was unafraid to peer into his eyes. The person's fist raised. Itachi quickly break from the person's grasp. When their fists shoot forward, the platform that Itachi was slammed against was obliterated into chunks of pieces. He turned his bloody gaze towards Itachi with speeds that only a few could keep up with. He appeared in front of Itachi and swung. Itachi ducked. Knowing from personal experience, he raised his other hand as a violent blow made contact with it, forcing him to stagger back. The both of them engaged in raw, bloody taijutsu. Despite being comrades, despite being best of friends, the attacks that were being thrown were lethal by the opponent, and Itachi realized if he did not protect himself, he was going to get hurt. However, this person was superior to him in raw strength. He was violently thrown. He slammed into a tree rather hard. The person appeared and reached. However, Itachi grabbed his wrist and yanked him forward, placing his arm around the person's shoulder and flipping down in order to restrain the person by holding his neck. However, the person countered as he pushed his arm through where the side of Itachi's elbow was and gripped him by the back of the neck. The both of them now holding each other, one of their eyes gazing at one another. All Itachi could see was rage. The person pushed him away, forcing him to stagger back. As they looked at one another, the person was none other than Naruto. There was no word said between them. None at all. As Naruto just kept on looking at him, Itachi's gaze could not meet his. Naruto finally spoke. Some time ago, I asked you what was going on. You told me you have it under control. But now, Shisui is dead. And they're saying that you're the one. They suspect that you're the one that killed him. Itachi looked towards Naruto, wondering how in the world he knew that. That information was only within his clan. I'm going to give you just 5 seconds to tell me what the hell is going on. If you don't, we're going to fight, and neither one of us will be leaving here as we arrive. So go on, speak, Naruto said. Their gaze locked. There was an intense moment as they looked at each other. It seems like all hell was going to break loose. Until Itachi's gaze softened as he said the words, I don't know what to do, he said. You idiot, said Naruto. How many times do I have to tell you? I have your back. Tell me what the hell is going on. Itachi looked at Naruto, knowing that the moment that he tell Naruto what is going on, everything was going to change. And there will be bloodshed, one way or another. There was no doubt about that. He was silent for a few minutes. However, there was a chance that his help, his perspective in what was going on was what he actually needed. And his perspective was going to change everything. And yet Itachi was struggling with the idea to massacre his own clan. There were some amongst them that were pushing for this. And they were dangerous for the village entirely. But there were some that did not deserve this. Innocent children that did not deserve to perish. And he loved Sasuke, realizing now as he looked at Naruto. If he were to do this to Sasuke, maybe he would never heal. Maybe he would screw up his chance in life. Maybe this wound would never fully heal ever and damn Sasuke for the rest of eternity. And that would be because of him. As he take into consideration the relationship between Naruto and his little sister and what he would do. Before I tell you anything, said Itachi, I want you to answer one question for me, as honestly as you possibly can. Naruto nodded, nodding for him to go on. If Mito was placed in a position where you had to kill everyone that she loved in order to make sure that she was safe, and in order to make sure that the village was safe, but if you did not, there will be war, would you do it? Would you kill everyone that she loved, making her see you as a monster forever? Your actions will forever taint her life and how she will be raised from now on. What would you do in that situation? Itachi's gaze fixated on Naruto's. Naruto's expression did not change. He just looked at Itachi. Whether his mind was working through a lot of possible outcomes, you could never know. He was so calm. I would find another way. No, I told you to answer the question, Itachi said. And I did. I will find another way. Itachi lost it for a split second. And what if there is no other way? He said, looking towards Naruto. And Naruto saw it. The pain and sadness and sorrow that he was currently faced with. Naruto walked forward as he grabbed Itachi by the shirt. I don't even have to ask, but do you remember the mission where our back was against the wall and we thought that we wouldn't return back home, that we were going to die? On that day, what did I told you? And her, said Naruto. Speaking of their past female teammates, it clicked in Itachi's mind. When our back is against the wall, we break the goddamn wall down. Exactly, said Naruto. So as I said, we can find another way. Even if we're back against the wall, we'll break the goddamn wall and whatever obstacle is standing in our path. Now tell me, what the hell is going on, said Naruto. Itachi did tell Naruto everything, leaving Naruto silent. So tell me, how exactly are we going to break this wall down? Itachi said, looking towards Naruto, trying to see if there was another way, a solution that he was not seeing. This is much more than just a normal wall. This is a titanium steel door, said Naruto. Huh, you're telling me, Itachi said. So there's no hope, huh? I never said that, said Naruto. There's always hope. For one thing, you're not going to do what you were planning to do. When I lost my mom, your mom was there for me and Mito, and she has always been there. And if I ever hear you insinuating the idea of ending her life, I'll kill you myself, said Naruto, his red eyes boring into Itachi's, leaving Itachi silent. Naruto got to his feet. How long until he wants a solution? And how long until your father and the others make a move? They've been plotting this for months now. It will be soon, Itachi said. Danzo knew of that as well. He wants it by the end of the week. He's monitoring them as we speak. Alright. Give me 3 days. 3 days. To do what? Itachi said. Just give me 3 days. We'll meet back here after that. Until then, do not do anything stupid. Do you understand? Itachi simply nodded as Naruto was gone. Itachi had no idea what he was going to do or if his actions was going to change things. However, he prayed. He was praying that there was a solution rather than doing what he was plotting to do. And now that Naruto know He knew that Naruto would try everything within his power to stop him from accomplishing what he originally thought he was going to do. A few years ago, he would have said that it did not matter, he would have came out on top. However, after that incident, so much has changed with Naruto, internally and externally as well. It's been a long time since he questioned his belief if he could defeat Naruto or not, and at the moment, he was not sure. He had no idea. Time skip. It seems like Konoha knew that problem was brewing. It was nighttime, thunder and lightning, screaming through the sky. Hiruzen Sarutobi was residing within his office. A violent thunder went off, followed by a flash of lightning, and someone was now standing behind his chair. Every envoy in the room let themselves be known at that moment, until they saw the masked individual, and realizing that it was Fox. Hiruzen was rather calm about it though, as he waved his hand for them to return back to their posts. If I didn't know any better, I would say that you were here to execute me, he said, in a joking manner. Can we speak in private? Hiruzen did not turn to look towards the individual, but he heard the urgency in his tone, so he sent away the envoys. Once they were gone, Fox just stood there as Hiruzen went through hand sign, sealing off the room from hearing from the inside out. Naruto reached up and removed the mask that he was wearing and placed it down. What is going on? I know, said Naruto. You know what, Hiruzen said, as he became serious. What is going on as we speak? The festering hatred and what the other side is planning. And your talk of peace has not yet found a solution or a path to win any side over. The words were cryptic if any other were to overhear them, but Hiruzen understand them. There was a 50-50% chance that he would have told you, despite being my direct order not to. I didn't say that he told me anything. Then who else might it have been? Hiruzen said, do you know that Danzo is planning on executing every single one of them? Children, innocents, that never made a move against his village. What? Hiruzen said, having no idea about that. He thinks that your idea of peace is a waste of time. That is why he has his forces ready. At the snap of a finger, they will rain down upon the sleeping surprising clan and wipe them all away. Hiruzen was furious about that. He couldn't believe that Danzo would go this far to massacre the entire clan. Hiruzen looked at Naruto, knowing that Itachi was one that told him, and if that was the case, Danzo somehow told Itachi about this. Or perhaps he gave him an ultimatum. Naruto, gaze alone, could tell Hiruzen that he was correct. I knew that he would try something, but I never thought he would go this far. Why wasn't I informed, said Naruto. This never involved you, Hiruzen said, and we thought. Naruto spoke, interrupting him. Never involved me. My sister is a Jinchuriki. We both know what those eyes could do to a Jinchuriki. And if the Uchihas made a move, we both know who they would go after to use as a deterrent. Who they would try to control. And then, it would have been too late because I wouldn't have known anything. Naruto was getting upset. However, he swallowed all of his rage. He couldn't afford to lose his cool, especially not on the Hokage. As he took a deep breath and relaxed himself. Your talk in action will not save anything or anyone, said Naruto. Danzo has already made his option known. And as we speak, the Uchiha clan is getting more angry. I have an idea. I need you to hear me out. My idea might sound crazy. It might sound completely ridiculous. However, this is the only chance that we have. And for this plan to work, Danzo has to die. Naruto said as his gaze fell on Hiruzen. Over the years, Naruto had rise in rank in Anvu rather well. Despite his age, he was a second in command to lead in several of the teams. He wasn't only the student of Wolf, commander of Anvu. He gave out orders as well. That is what Wolf had been training him for the entire time, and Wolf had cemented his position. So yes, he was a big deal in the whole thing. Therefore, he knew a lot. He knew about Danzo, he knew about a lot of people. And Hiruzen also knew that Naruto was one of Konoha's greatest asset. Many did not know of this. Many had no idea what his strength was like. Hiruzen and Wolf was the only two people that actually knew how powerful Naruto was. And his growth over the years had been truly frightening. However, Wolf had been glad that he took him aside and saw him as one to succeed him in the coming future. Hiruzen listened to Naruto's plan. After all, it was the only thing that they might have at the moment. And he agreed. Naruto's plan was stupid, ridiculous, crazy. However, there was a big chance that they might pull it off. If they work together and they work fast, this will minimize the bloodshed. However, the vacant spot will be open. I will take it on, said Naruto. Hiruzen blinked at that request. Does Naruto truly believe that he could take on such responsibility? As Hiruzen looked at him, and the look in his eyes, he had to make a choice, and soon otherwise, much more will die out of his control. Hiruzen made up his mind right there and then. Time skip. A meeting was taking place. The members were getting restless. Many of them angry, rage. It was fueling their aggression to make a move. Fukaku Uchiha was stopping them though. Fukaku Uchiha thought there might be a small chance to change Itachi from the path that he was going down. He didn't want to war against his son. There must be an alternative way for Itachi to see the truth, to come over to their side, to see what the village has been doing to them. However, things didn't seem like it was going to turn in their favor, in his favor mostly at all. His back was turned, so he was not able to see. However, the reaction of his people faces immediately alerted him. He spun around. Standing there was an Anvu, clad in a fox mask. Fukaku was caught off guard. All of them were. None of them expected this. None of them at all. One moment he wasn't there, the next moment he was. And they were truly perplexed and frightened by his appearance. Everyone quickly rise up. Don't do anything stupid. His voice came out calm and soft. Despite the look in their eyes, all of their Sharingan flaring up. Some of them even tried to cast a genjutsu on him, but to their surprise it was not working. Fukaku was facing him immediately. Fukaku then glanced up. A worried look was on his face. The Hokage is outside, along with his entire force of Anvu. I wouldn't suggest attacking or making a move. You all might be strong, but if you think you can get past me, then you can try it. Upon saying that, a violent green aura exploded out of him. The foundation of the building shook. The ground fractured. Immediately, several of them backed away in fear. Even Fukaku was astonished by the raw, unnatural power that was leaking from this boy. This wasn't anything normal. All of them were sweating. Even Fukaku, who was far older and more experienced, because he could feel it. The unnatural power that was resonating in this boy in front of him. And he was the only one in here that knew who that was. Yes, he was the only one. His title as a clan head gave him that privilege. As you can see, we know of what your people have been planning. We know of what you've been doing down here. I'm not here to talk to any of them, so make them be quiet. I'm here to talk with you. Naruto was looking directly at Fukaku. Your actions to step against your home has truly irritated me. And for that, all of you should be slaughtered for what you intend to do, for your traitorous thoughts and your actions. However, to avoid bloodshed, you and I are going to talk right here and now. Unless you all believe that you can take on the full might of this village, now that we know of your plans. Because let me tell you, you all will not live to see tomorrow. The Uchihas start to get pissed off, their anger overcoming their fear. Fukaku raised his hand, stopping them as many of them wanted to engage. Arrogance was their thing, but having so much against them, they would be eviscerated. They would be wiped out. Fukaku knew exactly who this was. That meant Itachi told him. However, if that was the case, no, something was at play here. Because he would not be wearing that mask if that was the case. And the Hokage would be the one down here talking instead of him. However, if the Hokage came himself, that would have been more problematic. Many of the members down here were angry with the Hokage about his actions of listening to the council and certain members of the council for relocating them and pushing them away. So if the Hokage came himself, the aggression would be a lot higher, and maybe some of them would do something stupid. Someone that they did not know. However, with his raw power that he just flexed to show them that he was no pushover, they were up to something. His son was nowhere close. Itachi was not here. Fukaku kept a calm demeanor. Fine then, he said. Let's talk. Your clan and your people have been pushed to the limit for the past couple of years. Most of you has been able to take that hate and try to focus on the bigger picture, but the rest of you use that hate to rebel. And what you're planning will only bring the downfall of this village. Starting a civil war might seem to be a good idea to you. However, what of the other nations? What of the people out there that despise Konoha? What do you think they will do after they hear that Konoha is in a civil war with their own people? They will retaliate. They will attack. They will rain down their forces upon this village. And we, who will be too busy fighting one another, will be wiped out in the process. For years, the village and the clans have coexisted with one another. There has been aggressions, but they have been dealt with. But never before has one threatened to bring physical violence to the entire village. I know that some of your claims are justified, and that is why we intend to rectify all of that. How exactly do you intend to rectify it? Asked Fukaku. Danzo Shimura. He's the main supporter of pushing your clan back. He's the one that has been spreading these lies, these rumors, that has been turning the populace against you. Don't get me wrong, it will be work to get Konoha populace to see you as the hero once again. Years ago, when the Nine-Tail attacked this village, the Tail Beast was being controlled. The gaze of the beast could be seen by many, and rumors has spread. Yes, right now your clan is being looked at badly. However, all of you rebelling and attacking this village, do you think that will change it? You will have to enslave these people, and the others will not just go down without a fight, which will lead to several of your loved ones being slaughtered in the process because, trust me, once you make the move to attack, all of the other clans will see you as a threat. And there is no doubt that they will join Konoha. With the stigma that is now on your name, they will all rebel against you. And they will work together to wipe you out of this village, down to the last child. Because they would want to leave no survivors. After what they plan to do to get rid of you all. I know you think that you have the might and that you can win, but trust me, you will not. All of you will fall. You might take down hundreds, maybe thousands, but in the end, you will fall. And the clan name will perish in nothing but bad fate. And it will cease to exist, just to be a marker on Konoha name, as a clan that went rogue and had to be exterminated. Is that what you want? Your family, your name, to be shown in bad graces? Because trust me, that is what you will accomplish if you make your move publicly. As you can see, there is no action being raised against you now, because we believe there can be a better way. Itachi Uchiha did not kill Shisui Uchiha. Shisui knew of what you were planning. He knew what was going on. Shisui, I'm sure all of you know, possessed great visual powers. Visual powers that put the rest of you to shame. And Danzo Shinemura did not like that. That man has despised you all for the longest time now. And the moment he got a chance, he made a move. He killed Shisui Uchiha. And Itachi has taken on all of that hate to try to squash out the resentment that he know will follow the moment you guys know about that. I'm right, aren't I? Right now you all want to go and kill Danzo for what he did. Naruto saw the bloodlusted look in their eyes. But that's not gonna happen. What? Many of them start to speak. Naruto did not pay them any attention though. He was looking at Fukaku, who raised his hand. We will be the one to get rid of Danzo. We will wipe him out of this village completely. We will make sure that the hate goes with him as well. It will then be up to you and your people to gain the trust and the faith of the civilians once again. I know that many of you are pissed and many of you are angry, but this is the only way that we can coexist with one another. Your plans have been found out. Many of you has the belief in your mind now that you should strike now. But I promise you, if you do, I will be one of them against you all. And I will not allow you to tarnish this village or bring the people down to ruins. So you have a choice. Think long and hard about your actions. Once Danzo is dead, your leader can have a sit down and speak with the Hokage. You all know that he's a generous man. Most leaders would have targeted the execution of your clan the moment they find out about this treason, but you're given a chance. Hiruzen Sarutobi is giving you all a chance. And don't let his age fool you. Despite his age, you all know the names that he were given. And I assure you, he will not just stand by and allow you to kill the people of this village. He is the Hokage. He will sacrifice a few for the many. So I suggest you take what I've said today and think long and hard. Things are tense now, but bridges can be mended. Children can grow and bring anew. They are the future after all. Ending their life at this age will only bring prosperity and sadness in the coming future for everything and everyone. So think about your options before you do anything stupid or rash. The Hokage is expecting you in 5 days. By that time, Danzo will be discarded off. With that, Naruto was gone. They were confused. It must be some teleportation jutsu. He was just gone. This was a truly shocking development. To think the Hokage knew what they were doing and yet he did not try to kill them all. Everyone was silent. The rage was still there, but they understand. Strangely enough, they knew if they made a step against Danzo, that would only play their name in a bad light. and would force the others to see them as the enemy. However, they were not in charge. That man was, as they all turned their gaze towards Fukaku, waiting on his response. Time skip. This was kept severely under lock and key. No one knew about this except for the few that were involved. Not even the envoys that were gathered. Everything was kept under lock and key. Hiruzen knew about Danzo and his people, of course. And Danzo has been on thin line for a long time now. Hiruzen never had it in him to do the deed. However, now, the choice has been taken out of his hand. By ending Danzo, it would be solidifying what the new grounds of the deals were that he had made with the Uchiha clan. Having Naruto talk for him as a proxy has proven to be the right solution. And they also knew that he was not someone to be trifled with, knowing that the might of Konoha still stand tall, and if they tried, they will be wiped out. Their heavy hitter Shisui, with his visual powers, was gone. Many of them still possessed the Sharingan, but up against the Hyugas, Inuzakas, Aberami, Sarutobi, Yamanakas, they will surely fail. They had meetings back to back. Fukaku spoke to his people for the days back to back. Danzo Place had been scouted and watched. However, the process of Danzo going down there to face him in front of his people was not needed. After all, Danzo was waiting on the answer. And he got his answer. Danzo Shiramura was currently standing in front of two Buddha statues. They were not within the village. They were outside, at a secure location where he conduct certain business. He had two of his more experienced root ninjas with him. You can never be too trustworthy these days at all. Danzo was a very smart person. If Hiruzen sent the armada after him, he would know, and he will retaliate with just force. And there was a chance that he might escape, and they couldn't afford that. So Hiruzen was only sending two people. One who was already there, the other one who could perfectly blend in with nature, hiding away from the absolute best of best sensors. You have to be one with nature as well to know that he was there. Hiruzen was not joking that him and the Envu commander Wolf was insanely happy with Naruto progress. Because the things that he could do now, how far he has reached, and yet he was still so young. His commanding skills, his voice to talk to people to get them understanding. Yes, it was a lot. The two Envus were there, root Envus, as they watched Itachi Uchiha step towards Danzo Shiramura to have a discussion with him. As they stood there, waiting, looking if their master would give the signal or if they had to jump in the fray. One of them was a censor. The area was clean, there was no one else there. He had told his master this before he converged upon the position. That is when he heard something, turning to see that it was a rock. But where did it happened in a flash. It was like time was not there. One moment, they were alive. The next, not so much. Danzo Shiramura stood as Itachi Uchiha approached and stopped. There was no word said. Danzo immediately felt uneasy. Something was not right. However, he went with it. So, Danzo spoke. What have you decided? I have no more time to give. So speak your words now. He's made his decision, alright. A voice said. Danzo glanced slightly to his left to see someone standing there. He remained quiet. He did not say a word. He was surprised though. Danzo thought that this person was dead. Hiruzen had gone through great lengths to make sure Danzo did not know about Naruto. Just in case he needed a secret weapon, Naruto would be that secret weapon. Danzo gazed towards the boy immediately, recognizing him. He was a big deal after all. I thought you had perished some time ago. Well, as you can see, I am not dead, said Naruto. Itachi was rather calm. Danzo looked towards him. I see. So this is your action to go against Konoha. And you are with him on this. To have the Uchihas destroy the village. You do know that they would use your sister as a weapon, correct? Well, that is where the problem lies. The Uchihas, they have been dealt with. The only problem remain is you, Itachi said. Itachi reached behind him and pulled out a short tanto. This is for Shisui. Danzo, realizing that he was in the center of a bad situation, they vanish. The both of them at the same time, their speed immense. They arrive in front of him. However, Danzo was no pushover. Immediately a blade extended from his cane as he ducked Naruto's swipe and blocked Itachi's. He rolled to the side and leaped away. He blurred through one-handed hand signs. Before he exhaled, a massive gust of wind that tore the place asunder. Immediately Danzo started to unlock the mechanism that was on his arm. Danzo had been in contact with Orochimaru, and he got something truly amazing. It was not ready though. He required Sharingans for it, and he was going to obtain them after the massacre, but at the moment he only possessed one. Danzo had a wooden arm. Yes, a special arm that was infused with the Mokuton cells. Both Naruto and Itachi reappeared. He didn't want to use this, but he had to. Tearing the bandage off his face, he gazed towards Naruto. Naruto jumped towards him and then stopped. Danzo activated the Kodomasukami as Naruto turned his intentions towards Shisui. Naruto glanced up towards Itachi, and Itachi saw it. The Mangekyo pattern in Naruto's eye. This was like what happened all those years ago when he first activated his. Naruto did not even seem to know that this had happened. Danzo, on the other hand, kill him, he said. He was about to retreat. Blood splattered everywhere. Danzo was mortified, beyond shock. His own hand ripped out the Sharingan out of his socket. Danzo couldn't understand what the hell was going on. His one visible eye gazed down to see several glowing roots on the ground. But how did... Before he could even say a word, everything froze around him. Time itself, the both of them froze. Genjutsu. He flared his chakra, but by the time he did, his one workable arm was removed. Itachi's feet slammed into his skull as his other arm was sliced off by Naruto, plucking the Sharingan away from him. Naruto slammed his other arm on the ground as hundreds of vines ripped out and wrapped themselves around him tightly. Danzo was restrained and tied up. He coughed up blood. He was bleeding rather badly. Naruto raised his arm and clenched his fists. The vines wrapped around his missing arms, stopping the bleeding. How? He said. Confusion on his face. He did not understand. Genjutsu doesn't really work on me. It seems it doesn't matter what kind, said Naruto. Seems I was blessed that way. Danzo grit his teeth in rage as he started to activate the seal to call all of his... Naruto slammed his hand in his chest and turned it, his fingers glowing. You're not doing anything. The moment you release your chakra, I could sense it through my weeds. And now it's all gone. Danzo felt weak as he collapsed down to his knees. My arm. He wanted answers. Naruto looked down towards the vines. To you, this might seem like normal vines, but they give me control. Anything. Made from certain cells. And that including the cells of the first Kage as well. Because as you know, and I'm sure you know a lot about me before my so-called demise, my body is imbued with those cells as well. So it's all under my control. And that was your mistake of having that arm, said Naruto. Naruto gripped him by the throat. You're done here. He glanced towards Itachi. I told you. There is always a way. And we just broke down the titanium wall. Itachi was relief. His face did not show it, but he was relief. Time skip. Once again he reappeared. As he had no idea how he did that. However, he was not alone as he tossed the broken man down to the ground. Fukaku Uchiha looked down towards the body. What I promised, said Naruto. You thought there was a slight chance that Hokage would not authorize this, but as you can see, he too realized the virus that this man is. The bloody, beaten, Danzo Shimura was restrained. He killed Shisui Uchiha in cold blood. I did say I would handle him myself. However, I believe this goes a long way in showing what we intend to bring for the coming future. I believe it lies on you to deliver the final blow as a leader of your people. To cement what happened, to cement the action that he took against your people and your clan. To cement the step going forward. A quick kunai in his hand, Fukaku did not hesitate. Danzo Shimura had no time as his throat was bursted open. All of the Uchihas cheered in celebration. This man had caused their clan so much headache and put their people through so much hell. Naruto picked up the dead body of Danzo. Your people will not be involved in his demise. Now it's your turn to make a difference. With that, he was gone. Fukaku knew exactly how he did what he did now. And he was shocked to believe that this child had learned that. How powerful exactly was he? Time skip. Hiruzen looked down towards the corpse of his one-time friend. He had no choice. It had to be done. Danzo was gone. Dead. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto had told him not to interfere. They would be scared. They were emotionless, but the loyalty was now broken. Confusion resided through all of them. He could do this. Hiruzen had trusted him so far, so he trusted him to do this. The root ninjas were all caught off guard. Many of the higher-ups were trying to understand what happened. Something was wrong. The seal on their tongue was still there, but they felt it. It was triggered and then it stopped. He appeared out of nowhere. He just materialized. If it was raw speed, that was some speed. He stood in front of all of them. Weapons were raised. Naruto held his hand up. The sealing matrix in his palm. He tapped his finger twice. I'm sure you all know what this is. I'm sure that you all can feel it. With a simple gesture, I can end all of your life. They all felt it. However, they were trained not to feel fear. Danzo Shimura is dead. Naruto said to all of them, for his actions against this village, he was going to start a civil war in the village that he swore to protect. I know that you people are the darkness where the light lies. I know that you do the dark work for the light to remain on top. However, the man that you were following was only out for himself. I know that many of you are stuck to that regime. Many of you are stuck to that mindset. However, in the beginning, you were all trained to be protectors of the hidden leaf. You are all processed to be protectors of this village and do whatever it takes to make Konoha prosper, but over time your mind has been warped and you have been used as cattle, as lambs to be slaughtered by a man who do not care if you live or die. He stripped you of your emotions. He stripped you of everything. He made you less than a man, less than a woman. However, I am here to correct that. I know that most of you, despite having your emotions stripped away, would be against this radical movement, but if you wish to be the one in charge, if you wish to stop what is taking place. Naruto's fingertips started to glow as he started to mess with the center of his finger. All of them were shocked when the seal on their tongue vanished. Surprised, mostly. However, their emotion was just so dull. There you have it. I no longer possess the means to end your life if you choose to retaliate. However, remember this, you are all chosen to lead and protect this village in the shadows. To do what the light people could not do because you were all bred in the darkness. So, if you still choose to retaliate against me, go ahead, do your worst. But if you stand where you are, I will be taking over this program and leading you into a better path. Into a path where you no longer see yourself as just a cuddle, but as a keeper of the darkness, as a controller of the darkness. You are the only ones that are suited for this job. No one else. The others could not stomach what you have done, what you have accomplished, but you people, you can. You have what it takes to go on. Like the way you are. You are the only ones that can accomplish this. So if you choose to stand by me, if you choose to stand by Konoha, remain where you are. And we will prosper by controlling, not letting the darkness rule us, but by controlling and leading this darkness. So what say you all? They all looked at each other after that speech. They didn't know what to do, most of them. The upper heads though, they start to go down to their knees, flanking, as the others quickly follow. Naruto stood there, tall, as their new leader. This is what he had told Hiruzen. The crazy part of the plan as well, including the Uchiha part. To have Naruto, someone that both him and the Anbu commander had bred for, the commander position to take on the controller of the dark, to rule the darkness. Naruto had what it takes, his mentality, his views on things. Light and dark was needed to run a stable civilization. He just had to control the darkness, rather than let said darkness corrupt and consume him. After all, that is what happened to Danzo, and things did not play out so well to him, as Naruto stood tall over each and every one of them, as they bowed down to him, as their new leader. He might be younger than most of them, but none of them were bred for that position. Danzo made sure that none of them had that. He made sure that none of them were taught in that way to lead. Naruto could see a few faces that had understanding though. A few faces that know what they were doing. A few faces that actually had emotion. As Naruto focused on a white-haired youth. However, just by a single glance, Naruto could tell that he was not well. He was ill. Naruto has grown a lot in the past few years. In his mental capacity, his leadership-wise. and his ability wise as well. After all, he was being trained to handle a larger position than this, to control the entire Anfu core. But instead, he would be controlling the entire root core as their new leader. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs over in the other channel guys. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado or wasting more time, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.